Okay, welcome. So today is kind of a business chat. This also could work in real life situations. We'll be talking about how to disagree with someone. Okay, so of course, this is great for the work site. Maybe you disagree with your boss. Maybe you disagree with an employee. How do you work it out? How do you approach this situation in a good way? And also in real life, we obviously disagree with people all the time, and so we need to be able to express our opinions in a correct way, and so you can't get angry and things like that. So what I want to do is first ask Ken and Rafa what you think are the best ways, or how would you approach a situation that you need to remain more or less neutral or not get upset. Okay, what are some things that you think you would do? We disagree about a topic. Rafa?
I don't know exactly, but perhaps you need to be very polite and also very strict on when what do you want to say. First of all, I think it's recommendable, I think, to say, I agree until a certain point, but I think it's correct, but in my humble opinion, in different ways, you can express that you are not totally agree with your argument.
Okay, perfect. Good. And Ken, what do you think? What are some things that we should consider before we start yelling at the other person?
Maybe being calm and being rational, not so emotional, to observe the situation and maybe how can I say, explain my point of view or something like that calmly, or maybe some rationally.
Perfect. So that's very good. So what I want to do is show you something that I have. Let me go ahead and share my screen. There it is. Okay, and looks like you can see this now. I'll actually make it a little bit bigger here because I can and I know how to do it. Okay, good. So how to disagree with someone at work? Okay, first thing I have is remain calm. I think that's the most important thing when you're disagreeing with someone, because if you start yelling and screaming, it will not end very well, okay? So you definitely need to be careful with that. These are just things that I think, okay? This is not these are not in any order. Okay, so don't think they are, but actually remain calm is probably a really good one. So let's see. Ken, why don't you go ahead and read this second one here?
Okay. Make sure you have good arguments, reasons for your opinion.
You don't want to sound like Trump and just spit things out of your mouth without realizing what's going on around you.
Yeah.
Okay, so you definitely need strong, reasons, or I feel like this because, maybe it's a different situation that happened. Maybe it happened to a friend. Maybe you've been through this situation before.
Yeah.
So, if you have experience, I think it's important to, give reasons why you're upset or why you think something should be a certain way. Okay? Any comments about this?
Yeah, I think. Yeah,
okay, go ahead.
Calm down and to start explain the reason for the argument. I think it's important for rational talking, not too much emotional talking, because emotion actually it causes a vicious cycle.
Oh, very good. A vicious cycle, absolutely. And especially at work, it's your profession. And of course, all of us have good days and bad days. Some good, more good days than bad days, or vice versa. So it just depends. And so if it's a bad day for you, And you really have to be careful because you have to think, is this really how I feel, or is it because I'm having a bad day? So, you just have to work on that as well. Good. Rafa, anything to add? Okay, doesn't look, yeah, no, okay. All right, so what we'll do here is, actually, Rafa, you can read this next one here, okay? And you can see that, okay, right?
Don't interrupt, wait until they have finished speaking, saying what they want.
And this is a little bit difficult, only because you're going to want to say something while they're speaking. Now, if they start switching to a different topic, then I would say, all right, 1 second, I want to comment about this. Okay, so it's a little bit different than just interrupting. You want to be respectful in the fact that they can say what they want to say without interruptions unless it's necessary. Okay, is basically what I would say. So anything to add here? Do you agree, disagree? What do you think about? This is difficult, right? Sometimes
Perhaps you need to interrupt politely to the other guy, but it's not a big deal. You need to be polite and say, excuse me, but I need to add another point or something like that. Even though the best way is don't interrupt, as you are saying, but sometimes in a dialogue or something like that, you need to interrupt too.
Absolutely. And if it looks like you can't interrupt and the person just keeps talking, what you can then do is kind of interrupt when at the end of their sentences, when they're starting to slow down. You say, well, and then they keep talking. Well, and then if you do that 2 or 3 times, then they kind of maybe want to speak. So that might change, their opinions too. Think, all right, I'll let that person speak because they want to say something relatively important, maybe, or they will just continue. So depends on the situation and the person. Okay. Any comments?
Yeah, and listening is important to to how can I say, to get that person's point of view or to discuss that. But sometimes aggressive people talking long, very emotional. In that case, maybe I need to interrupt in some way, in some polite way.
Yeah, and these are just general ideas on what you should do in this situation. Obviously, not all of these apply for every single situation, and like I said, it depends more than anything. So, Ken, you're sharing my secrets before before I show them. So, is it Rafa's turn? I've completely now forgotten. This will happen now. To read. Whose turn is it to read?
I think it's my turn.
It is your turn, Ken. Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
Okay.
So you can read, okay?
Don't maybe second. Don't make sounds, grunts, sighs while listening to their perspective.
Okay. Do we understand what this is?
Yeah, maybe. That's kind of noise.
Yep, that's a sigh. Okay, and what's a grunt?
Grunt maybe more kind of or such kind of angry sound. I don't know.
Thanks, Rafa. Perfect.
Like
Yep, grunt is that. Sounds. And sigh is that deep breathing sound. So try and, again, be respectful of the situation. This is another way that you could interrupt or make them angry because you're making these sounds. And so to keep the situation neutral, you should be very careful. Okay? Any questions or comments here? Well, let me go down here to the next one. So now, Rafa, it is your turn. Okay. And you can read that.
Try not to make the situation personal, depending on the situation. Holidays, vacations are different.
Good. So this is a situation where, you don't want to say, but I think this, and, this will affect me, and think about yourself. It makes you seem selfish. Okay. Now, the other side to this is holidays and vacations, because obviously you want to enjoy your holidays, your vacation, and do it when you want. I think that's probably going to be the most difficult or most common situation at work, is when to take holidays, unless they tell you specifically. Okay, and this is actually probably because I'm living in Spain right now, and basically everyone goes on holidays in July and August. So now everyone's, fighting for, well, I want this weekend, I want this weekend. So I think that's where it kind of came up. Now, in the United States, it's not exactly the same. You can take vacation. You think you can start out with a professional job with 3 weeks of vacation per year. And within the year, you can choose. You go on holiday. And also there are other companies that make you write your holidays like the year before. So you can get those, and just so that they know, just in case. I don't know. So that's something else that people do in the United States. Anything about holidays or vacations that might be a problem in either, well, Rafa, you're here in Spain, but Ken, any comments?
Yeah, maybe holiday and the rights for having holiday and vacation are not so protected here, actually. So
Really?
we can maybe more people can get paid holidays, but they don't take them all. Actually, usually they take some paid holidays, but not all holidays they could get from the government, not the government, from the companies, usually.
Why?
That's a bad habit here because Japanese tend to think hard worker is about or long-time worker is the good person. Such tradition is die hard in the society. Not only in the workers, but also some sports field. Such they sometimes pitcher the baseball pitcher or little league. They manager require that pitchers to throw long hours. As a result, he cannot his elbow injured, and he cannot be a baseball star anymore after that. Such thing. Oh yeah, often happens in Japanese society.
Interesting. In the United States, I don't know, we have the expression work hard, play hard. So if you work a lot of hours, then you should have a lot of fun. But I don't think, it's not seen like that. Of course, you have people who are lazy, who don't work very well, on the job at work. That's kind of interesting. And Rafa, what do you have to say about Spanish holidays? Because if I have something to disagree about, I can tell you.
I think usually we have more vacation, more holidays than other places in Europe, other countries in Europe. Related to this or
well, yeah, how do you, Ken was saying that, kind of, if you take holidays, it's not very great in society. So here in Spain, people are just very excited to have holidays.
Yeah, perhaps. I think Japanese people, Japanese culture is different to other countries. Here in Spain, the most important thing is to have as much vacation as you can, and also if you can get some days in Easter, some days in Christmas, and also in August could be so good for you. And it's not so valuated to work harder as in Japanese culture. Perhaps it's more valuable to enjoy life, even though you need to work for pleasure, for get pleasures. And
Mm-hmm.
the important thing is to have as much vacations as you can get.
Definitely. That's the Spanish outlook is, I think there are very few months, maybe 2 months, that there are zero holidays. Actually, I have my list here. January, there's February. Well, actually, here in February, we have White Week, so we don't work. Technically, it's not a holiday, a national holiday. February, March. March depends to see if there's Holy Week. And then April, we have off. May, we have off. So June and July, actually, maybe I'm making a mistake. In Spain, we celebrate a lot of saints, patron saints. And so there might be a day, like August 15th, for example, is a public holiday, a national holiday. So nobody works that day. October 12th, November 1st,
Mm-hmm.
and then December 6th and 8th.
And also, if I
So,
may, perhaps Aka, this kind of ferry in Pamplona called San Fermin with bulls and people running with the bulls in the north of Spain is pretty famous, and they have one whole week of vacation right now, plus the vacation in 1 month of vacation for regular people, for regular workers, and other week for other issues.
mm-hmm.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So I think between Japan and Spain, the United States is in the middle. So I think that's good. I just think there's too many holidays sometimes here. Children don't go to school many days. So there's strikes. So I think 1 month is impossible. Yeah. I mean, actually, a lot of the state workers, the public workers, don't work the whole month of August. The show that you have to have done is like you have to wait until September. Seriously, Spain shuts down. And there's also another reason, because it's super hot. I mean, people change their work hours, if they're at a professional business, and instead of working the first morning shift and then afternoon with lunch in the middle, they work, well, they still get lunch, but they finish at like 5 or 6 in the afternoon instead of 7 or 8, just because it's hot, and you have to enjoy summer and time. And the weather has something definitely to do with working. So, and I think in one of our conversations not too long ago with Thomas, we said that it's just so hot sometimes. It's so hot today. I don't want to leave my house. So that's the other thing. Okay, any final comments before we continue with how to disagree with someone? No? Okay. Perfect. Well, let me go down. And actually, I'm going to say, Ken, it's your turn to read.
Maybe, yes. Listen to the other person's opinions. Don't just brush them off and ignore what they are saying. They might be right. Listen to the fact.
Mm-hmm. Just like you were saying earlier, Ken, you have to listen. So you have to listen to the other person's feelings. And I said I put brush them off because brush off is a good phrasal verb. But you later can also kind of defend yourself with them. If they say something incorrect or whatever they say, you can use it against them. Or they might just plain be right. And you think, okay, I didn't think of that. I haven't thought of that before, so maybe you're right. Okay, I understand. So listen to the facts, because just because you have your very strong opinion, correct.
Right. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any comments here?
Maybe there's how can I say? Also, maybe we need to search looking for the compromising point. If the person's argument is very different, maybe we need to searching for such compromising point for both of us.
Exactly. Good. Rafa, anything to add? Okay.
No,
Well,
I think it's
okay. Well, perfect. So let me go down to the next part, and Rafa, you can read this one. This is something I kind of mentioned before. Okay.
Try to avoid I sentences. Choosing to use you or they will make you sound more professional. Saying I or me make it sound like you are complaining, not stating your point of view. Not stating your point of view.
Yep, stating or not saying, not explaining your point of view. Okay. So this is something I kind of mentioned earlier. Try and use you or they because it's neutral as well. And for example, in English, what we say for a person that we don't know who it is, boy or girl, but singular, we will say they. Okay. Yeah, in the plural form.
In singular, you could say they. No.
Correct. If you don't know who exactly the person is. Okay. So for example, oh yeah, I had a phone call this morning. They said that I should go to the doctor at 2:00, something like that. Okay. I use they because maybe it's not important to me if it was a man or a woman, just that I needed to go to the doctor, for example. Okay, so you do have to be careful with that, but it is something very important. So, and we do use it quite a bit. Ken, did you ever notice that when you were in the United States?
I think so, and I actually in Japanese we also use this technique.
Really?
Me kind of thing. Maybe it should be avoided. Because it means it's that person talking subjectively. But however, in academic writing, actually, how can I say? It is said is somewhat weak, but we used actually we discussed that's what I learned, but I don't know because it's changing now. Maybe more using I is more acceptable in academic writing or something.
I think it's because everyone's getting lazy. I mean, we're all writing emails nowadays. We try and kind of be formal. But it's acceptable to make mistakes, like spelling mistakes on Facebook or other social media. And I think, honestly, just everyone in general is just getting lazier. So I think that's why I or me is now more acceptable, because it's more informal, unfortunately. So I think...
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think, and that's my personal opinion, not that it's true, but that's it.
Also, sometimes in academic discussions, sometimes using I is very clear what is that idea. But so I think or we think as actually different. So maybe for such reasons, sometimes people use I on academic writing, probably.
Yeah, they say, for example, if you write an essay, you should not use the word I, or I think it's you as well. Maybe it's you, just because you're not talking to anyone, you're writing something. Now, obviously, someone is going to read this, and you can be talking about them. You as the reader are going to learn about. but you wouldn't put that in there. You would just very neutrally write a sentence.
Yeah, exactly.
So good. So great. Well, Rafa's learned something new today. That's exciting. So with that, Ken, why don't you go ahead and read this one for us?
Accept the fact if you're wrong or had incorrect information. It's okay to be wrong every once in a while.
Exactly. So again, this kind of relates to before, but listening to the other person. Okay, listen to what they say, because maybe it's a perspective that you hadn't thought about. Maybe, for example, Trump and his stupid wall. You know, people think it's going to help Americans. Okay, but how? You know, and I saw a video the other day that was like, if we didn't have immigrants, I mean, if the United States didn't have one immigrant, the Native Americans would still rule the United States.
Exactly.
So, you know, you can't say, oh, immigrants are terrible. It happened every time when, you know, there were Chinese that built the railroad system and the Irish when they came over because of the famine, etc. Every single time there's been an influx of immigrants, that's when everyone seems to get scared, like, oh no, they're taking our jobs. Well, there's a different outlook to this. It's not just they're stealing your jobs, which in reality, I don't think they really are. But look at it at life from their perspective. You know, they don't have any money. They're sacrificing their life. They leave their family and friends, you know, to work a lot of hours in difficult conditions, to not make even, you know, minimum wage in the country. And then they might not see their family ever again, and potentially might die because they might not, you know, because of many different things. So, you know, you are wrong or you wrong. Rafa, do you have a question?
Yes, I have this question, but I don't know. You need to use the verb to be when you are talking about you are wrong, or
yeah,
or it's not necessary to say you are wrong, you're wrong.
You need the verb to be.
You need to
you
be.
Need it.
Like
yeah, it's to be plus an adjective.
Yeah. Wrong.
Right. To be right as well.
To be right. Thank you.
No problem. I was a little confused. I was like, am I wrong about this situation? What? The wall? The immigrants? So, okay, perfect. Well, I'm glad that we got that worked out. Any other comments? And actually, if you look at the word okay, it's in capital letters. Do either of you know why?
I think it's an abbreviation.
An abbreviation, yes. And how do you spell the word okay?
I don't know what
Zero killed. We are in the war.
We say it like this. It's O-K-A-Y.
I got it.
Okay. So okay equals okay. That's why I put it in capital letters. Obviously, you will see it in lowercase letters as well, but technically, it needs to be in capital letters because it's an abbreviation. And if you notice, we're actually saying the two letters okay when we say the word.
But the root, as far as I know, from the okay word is from the war, when the soldiers come back to the camp and say zero kills, zero killed.
Zero killed. Zero. Okay, hold on.
I think it's true, but I'm not sure. And the abbreviation from zero killed becomes in okay.
Well, actually,
could be a city story or a fairy
Well, I
tale.
can tell you that another person from Madrid who I talked to with my other job today said the exact same thing, because the whole conversation with OK came up. And I did this presentation last week, so this is quite a big coincidence today with that. And we actually have A-OK as well, and so I'm wondering if that has something. A-OK just means that everything is perfectly fine.
Everything is
I don't know why it's A-OK, but we also do say that. So that might have something to do with that as well. Interesting. Well, I have more in this presentation, but it's quite a coincidence today. So good. And it looks like, I think, Rafa, is it your turn?
Could be. I don't know, Aka. Do you remember?
Yes, your turn.
Thank you. Realize when there is nothing more to discuss, don't just keep talking to overpower the other person.
Which a lot of people do, because they feel that they want, the power, they want to win the conversation, so they're going to just continue arguing for the sake of arguing, not because they need to. Okay. Any questions or comments about anything we've seen? No?
But this is a text summarizing what Donald Trump have to do.
Nothing. No. Well, this is, in my words, this is what you should do when you disagree with someone.
You need to send it to Donald Trump. It
might be, he probably wouldn't even read it, and if he did, he probably wouldn't even care. So I don't think it would go very far. But yes, I believe everyone can learn something from this today. And like I said, it's not just at work. This is in your daily life as well. You disagree with your sibling or your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. I think you can always do it calmly. So what I want to look at now are some introductory words or phrases that you can use. All right, so now we're getting into the kind of grammar part here, okay? So the first one could be mind you. Have you both seen this before? Mind you. I was going to say, you're both very, very quiet right now. Okay, so mind you is kind of like, don't forget that, okay? Actually, I should write that. Okay, don't forget that. So if you're talking about a situation, let's say the immigrants, the fence, whatever. Mind you that the immigrants come from a very poor country, blah, blah, blah. So don't forget that, okay? It's a little bit more formal here, but basically the same meaning, okay? I think a very common one is on the other hand. You can say, on one hand to start, and then you can say on the other hand, if you're going to look at a contrasting view, okay? I think that one's pretty simple. Then the next one, which is a good way to interrupt. As I said, it's not perfect to interrupt, but it's obviously possible. You can say, I see your point, but, and then you can start explaining your perspective. And I know, Rafa, I think you mentioned something like this today. So that's very, very true. The next one is, I also think, and this is very basic, it's very simple. You could also say to, T-O-O, if you want to change also. Also, to me, is a bit more formal than to. So that's, again, this is all personal things. I mean, it depends what you want to say and how you want to say it. So think, okay. So you can say, well, actually, I like that. So, well, because that is a good kind of, well, da, 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 da. So then you can start saying what you want. It's a good way to interrupt a little bit, or, at least get the other person thinking that you have something to say, okay? Alternatively, is, I don't know why it's difficult for me to say today. Alternatively, there you go. It depends which mode my brain is in, if it's in Spanish mode or English mode. So that basically means, but on the opposite side, you know, again, contrasting the point of view here, we have although, which is relatively common. This one I really like. Having said that, so this is where you really defend yourself. Having said that, you know, I think this is the best way to approach this meeting, for example. Okay. And then the last one I have here is, but looking at it another way, you can use looking at it a different way, for example, as well. Okay. Any questions? Do you want to look at anything here exactly that we just looked at, or what do you think? Ken, Rafa? No comments? Well, perfect. So my next step here is a role play. Okay, so it's fantastic that there are two of you today. So now let's do a role play between a boss and employee. The employee wants a raise. Raises?
Yeah.
What is it?
Yes.
What everyone wants.
More money, right? Speaking of that, Thomas. No. So yes, so everyone wants a raise. It's not a promotion. It's just getting more money while you're staying in the same position. Okay, so here you can defend, you know, I've been here for a long time. I do this. I'm on time every day, blah, blah, blah. So I won't give you any more ideas. So between Ken and Rafa, who wants to be the boss and who wants to be the employee? Or if you can't decide, I can help. Ken, do you have a preference?
No, particularly.
Rafa, I feel that Rafa should be the employee in this case, and Ken should be the boss. What do you think about that?
Okay.
Okay.
This is gonna be good. All right, well, I'm gonna mute myself so I don't make any noises while you're chatting away. So whenever you're ready, Ken, you're the boss. Rafa wants a raise, and you don't want to give it to him. Okay? Perfect. That's it. So just go naturally, and good luck. Okay?
Hello, Rafa.
Hello, Aka. What's up?
Yes.
How are
I'm
you
fine.
doing? I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm very busy right now, but yeah. Anyway, I'm managing this situation. How about you?
Okay. Oh, I am perfect, but I would like to talk with you for a while, if you don't mind. Do you have 5 or 10 minutes to chat with me right now?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Well, how long have been knowing each other, you and me? Do you remember when the first time I met you in this company?
I think 5 years. Yeah, you started this company, started a job in this company. Yeah, you've been working for 5 years, I think.
Okay. And do you think in this whole time I never get late at my job? Do you know that? I am always so cautious with my time, and also, do you know this system?
Oh, really? But I think your bonus rose 2 times.
Yeah, the bonus, yes, but the payroll. Are you talking about the bonus?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I was talking about I very point that if you have realized that I am very punctual for the last 5 years,
Mhm.
Did you realize it?
Yes, many workers here are very punctual, so I'm really glad also. Yeah, their
Okay.
working skill is pretty high. Yes.
And I also, and do you know that have you realized that I am working with the same payroll for the last 3 years?
Mhm. Okay. Oh, yeah, I see. So I need to ask about that because I'm not controlling the salary.
Yeah.
So I need to ask about that.
Okay.
And
I think this is the problem that you are not controlling the numbers. For this reason, in the last 3 years, I have never had an, a rise in my payroll. As you know, I am very involved in my job. We are now right now developing a new project. As you know, or perhaps you don't know, but in the last month I have a child, another child, and for this reason I need an increase in my payroll. What do you think about it?
I see. Yeah, if you have a child, actually the company offer the support for the child care for the family. So you need to claim that. But as I said, I'm not deciding. I'm not deciding. I'm not controlling such things in this company. So but actually, I can ask about that and for the family rise, the rising salary for their having the salary addition, not additional, maybe one more kid in your family, and yeah. So
But
is it okay?
I am totally agree with you. You are not controlling the numbers, but until certain point, you have you are decision make. You are the decision maker of the company, and I would like to you said to the
Yeah.
to the to the other manager that I need a rise because
Yeah.
as far as I know, you are very happy what I am doing. I need more than this increase for one child in my family. I need one increase in my payroll. What do you
Yes.
think?
So yeah, I think 100% sure for the salary rise for having a one more kids. That's for sure. But other things I need to ask, or because you're how the company or organization, the is evaluating your job.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I think you deserve to salary to raise, but problem is I cannot decide only one. The, the if I decided everything. Sometimes people think it's unfair or it's subjective. Maybe you and I have a connection or something. So to avoid such situation, I need to ask kind of other people, kind of organization to controlling our budget or our salary, employees' salary.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do recommend
Okay.
that your raise to
Yeah.
that organization. Yeah,
I
to
totally agree with you until certain point, but in other case, do you know my mate, my colleague called Scooby Doo last
Mhm.
year?
Mhm.
You agreed with him an increase in the payroll in order to he was achieving all his goal is also my case in that in this opportunity, and for this reason I begged you I begged you I begged you I need a rise in
Mhm.
my payroll because
Oh,
in another case I must go to another company and
oh,
it
I see.
would be
I know
so
what
sad for me.
yeah, I know what you feel. And yeah, definitely. So if the Scooby-Doo could do that, yeah, I can do recommend you to Salary Up because it sounds unfair. So thank you for telling me about that.
Okay. Thank you very much, Aka. I hope it could be more than a 7%, as in the same case as Scooby-Doo. You know what I mean?
Okay, I do recommend about that. Yes. Also, maybe it takes maybe I would answer this for maybe 1 week later. Is it
Perfect.
okay?
Thank you very much, Aka.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Okay, fantastic. Oops, I don't know. Hold on a second. I'm screen sharing and I turned the video off, so just a second. Okay, so, oh, now I've just turned it off. Well, great. I think that was fantastic. A lot of mutual respect between you two, very calm. Rafa, you had some really good, excuses on, no, I should have this because, you defended your argument very well. Also, Ken defended his argument very well with, oh, we need to look at the budget, the salaries, and we have to be fair. And, just because, oh, you have one more child, you get more money. Sorry, that's not how the world works. So I agree with both of you, and hopefully you get that raise. So very good. Very, very good. Okay. And so that's it for today. So on Monday, we will be taking a look at the intermediate exam again. We did, I think, the first 15 questions. There's only 20 on the exam. But what I want to do is also explain between so and such, because it's one of those things that I was like, what's the best way to explain this? And I don't know, I don't have the exact way to explain it how I want. So that's what we'll do on Monday, okay?
At what time, if you don't mind, please?
1 o'clock Spain time.
1 o'clock in Spain time. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Well, thanks for both of you for joining today. Lots of fun, great role play, and hopefully we will see you on Monday, okay?
Bye, Aka. Bye, teacher.
All right. Goodbye. Bye-bye.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.